Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't forget to catch us every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time of the Friday Fix.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to catch us on the Sunday show. To be determined.
To be determined. We got a couple good names, though. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple good names for it, though. Hey, it's been a crazy... that
show's at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been a crazy few days in MAGA world.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and start off with Trump sides with tech bosses in MAGA fight over immigrant visas. President-elect Donald Trump appeared to side with technology bosses Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in a row over a visa program that brings skilled workers to the U.S. Trump told the New York Post on Saturday that he always liked H-1B visas and hired guest workers under the scheme, even though he's previously been critical of the program. He was wading into the debate that pitted his advisors from the tech world against Republicans who want a harder line on all forms of immigration. The argument broke out after Ramaswamy, tapped by Trump, along with Musk, to slash government spending, blamed American culture for U.S. firms deciding to hire skilled workers from other countries. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence, Ramaswamy wrote in a long X post that argued that foreign workers improve the U.S. economy. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers, he wrote. The post attracted backlash from anti-immigrant Trump supporters, and Ramaswamy later clarified that he believed H-1B visas is badly broken and should be replaced. After the argument raged online for days, Trump told the Post, "I've always liked the visas. I've always been in favor of the visas. That's why we have them." It's kind of a funny thing to kind of listen to this guy talk. And if we get a little bit deeper into it, they'll also tell you that Elon Musk also called him, used the word, the R word, which is retard.
No, we can say it now.
I mean, you use retard, called him subtards.
Ramaswamy said, he said American culture is weak.
Yeah.
Basically, and stupid. Now, check this out. I'm just going to put this out there for everybody. The Republicans and MAGA won the election, and they won off immigration, a hard stance on immigration.
Yep.
And so now they're trying to say, well, they can keep these American jobs. You know what I'm saying? But the rest got to go. No, I need all of them gone. That's what you promised us. Those are American jobs. You want to pay somebody else instead of paying us a fair profit for it. That's a lot of jobs. And they called you stupid, and you're supposed to take it. No, they said all the immigrants got to go. It don't matter how you got here, if you got here illegally or legally. Those visas, those things got to go because those are American jobs. Say it again. Whose jobs? American jobs.
I feel like you look at Steve Bannon. He went into the war room on his podcast and basically said that the H-1B program is a total scam. I mean, you got to start looking at just the disconnect.
It is a scam. What's her name? Ann Coulter, she came out and she was like, look, they like to hire these people for these positions because if you bring them in on that visa, you can pay them like $70,000 or whatever, and they have to stay because if they leave the job, they have to leave the country. If you give that job to an American, they have an option to question you like, hey, I need a raise. And if you don't give them a raise, they can take off. They want it's basically indentured servitude, but you're getting paid. It works for the corporate.
Yeah, it's funny to really look at Musk basically just talking down because he'd also said that far right people are retards. He's basically like, you guys are dumb. You guys don't. I mean, if he's like basically, if I were to have to train you to do this job, it would be impossible because you're dumb. He said that. Pretty much, not in those exact words, but pretty much in those words.
But he said it. So he said it in a way where they wouldn't understand until they look at someone and be like, huh? They'd be like, he calling you stupid.
Yeah, over and over again. He's been doing this for days. Times. And then all of a sudden, Ramaswamy today wants to come out talking about end affirmative action. It's making America's not a land of mediocrity. She's trying to change the narrative to almost redirected towards black people now because they understand we want to keep the racism away from us. Let's keep it on the blacks because it's easier.
Bro, I saw a picture. You remember, you see that one, the Congress lady or the lady from the House, she's a Republican or whatever, and she's been missing, but they found her in a
I think she's like a congressman from Texas.
Yeah, they found her in a
dementia home.
A dementia home, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they had the picture of her, what she looked like before she was in the home, and then they show a picture of some lady, like a nurse or a CNA, walking with a black lady with a stroller, or a black lady with a walker. I'm like, what does that have to do with it? That's the only picture you can find because they want you to still be mad that this white lady is doing this, but then they put the picture of the black lady in the home, so you still have that hate towards the Negro. I mean, it's crazy. It's
exactly propaganda. What this entire, like, if you really look at what's been happening, and I really want to stick on this subject as well, too, but the redirection of the anger towards black people, this is a generation of that. This has already been said. This has already been talked about by other great black scholars have talked about how this generation.
And I hate to cut you off, but we just did it ourselves. We redirected it ourselves to talk about our stuff. But let's get back to how he called these Americans stupid.
I mean, I wonder how they're going to react to this. This is my biggest thing. How are you guys going to take this? Is it going to be like, I had a guy on Facebook today, basically like, oh, well, Matt Gaetz, he almost tried to redirect the what Matt Gaetz did away from the 17-year-old and say, well, that 17-year-old girl, the 17-year-old was put in jail for telling a story about someone paying her, raping her before. I said, which one? Because this is what they do. They want to take everything that happens in the Trump sphere and try to spin it towards something that makes sense. Oh, well, this didn't happen this way, or this didn't. You can't defend it. It's becoming indefensible.
Well, when the whole thing is, it's crazy because what they basically said was like, you're too stupid to do these jobs, these high-paying jobs. A lot of Americans can do well with $70,000 a year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It'll be more than that because remember, they got to pay more than that.
Yeah, you got to pay more than that. You can do really well with that. But they're saying then Ramaswamy makes it worse because he's like, well, don't worry, we'll make sure the black people don't get the poor jobs that we're going to let you have still.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Like, but they're going to accept it because what are you going to do? You can't fight back. So you're going to let these immigrants come and take your jobs, even though you voted to make sure all these immigrants left because they were supposedly taking these jobs.
Yeah,
and they're here taking, and they're going to let them keep the jobs. So what did you vote for?
Honestly, I hope this turns into the conversation is showing a lot of truth. It's showing that they never looked at you as part of their group anyway. They're telling you who they are. Republicans have always been for the wealthy, but most of their voters are the poorest of the poor. People who are uneducated. That's just the truth. People in rural areas who like, oh, well, Trump will have my best interest in mind. Elon Musk cares about me. They're talking about cutting a third of the budget. Where do you think that's coming from? They're talking about cutting programs that benefit you. Because that's who we are. We're people who are at the middle to bottom rung of society, pretty much when it comes economically. So, I mean, we can't sit back and just glaze over this subject and act like this stuff is just not happening. It's not what's going on. They didn't say these things because they're telling you who they are, just like they told you who they were before. But it made you feel better because just like what Lyndon B. Johnson said, if you make the lowest of the white man feels like he's better than the best of the best Negro, then they'll give you every nickel in their pocket. And that's why you guys did it. And along with black people who are going along with this whole entire thing as well, you guys are going to figure out real quick where you stand. You know what I mean? With this whole entire thing as well.
Yeah, well, they're not really there to have any power. They're kind of there just to sway people towards them. But I mean, that's a whole nother story. I want to see how they handle this. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going to show the difference. This is going to show the strength of their people and their party. Because if you voted to get these immigrants out of here to take these jobs back give them to Americans, American-made stuff. That's what we voted for. That's what you voted for, and I have to go along with it now. So I want to see how are you going to be like, well, those ones can stay because if these immigrants can stay, then the other ones can stay too. The ones that are waiting, the DACA ones can stay.
So only the people. So basically,
we only get rid of criminal ones. That's fine.
You only want the creme de la creme, the best of the best to stay here, but you don't want anyone else you don't want the people who started at the bottom. You don't want the real people who had to struggle because you're not talking about Elon Musk because you didn't. Your daddy had emerald mines in apartheid South Africa. That's how you got your start. That's how you came up. Then you came here illegally and took the money that you had and started your businesses and bought other people's businesses with that money. So you don't look at people who are starting from the bottom as in your class. You only want people who already are on their path or on their way to being successful here in this country. You don't want the deplorables. You don't want the what you call them, contemptible fools here in this country. That's how they look at us. The people who may be poisoning the blood of America. Those people right there. So I guess they're talking about you, but you guys don't want to look at it like that. You were hoping they were talking about us.
Yeah.
But they're not talking about me because I'm actually doing halfway decent in this country.
They're saying you don't deserve these jobs. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. They called you
they're
dumb.
saying you're untrainable. They're saying you're too stupid
to do these jobs.
And they try to say it to you so you can catch it, not catch them calling you stupid.
He called you a retard. So I don't see how he's saying that in any kind of way.
They said people from another country are smarter than you.
By far. And you could never. And he said,
Crazy.
basically, he said the right wing of the Republican Party. This is what he said. That's what the Republican Party is the right wing. He's talking about all y'all, the ones who voted for him. Because we look at the voting population, people with any kind of education voted Democrat by the majority. You know what I mean? So he's talking about the rest of all y'all. But hey, I know you'll defend it. I know you'll come up with some story to make this it's not you he's talking about. He's talking about the people who have construction jobs, people who are who work with their hands. That's who he's really talking about. You guys can't be trained to do anything better than that. So just shut up and take it.
Well, they kind of tried to show that one time before we go to the next thing. Obama tried to do that for the coal miners. He was like, here, how about you guys? We're going to teach you guys how to make solar panels and create them and stuff. They're like, nah, we don't want to do that. And he's like, well, that's kind of the future.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, you look at China's economy. Most of their economy is a green economy. They understand what's going on here. I mean, that's what they're producing EVs. They're producing solar panels, but they're producing them in such bulk and, that they can sell them for cheaper. And that's why they're flooding the market with these solar panels, so and with these EVs. And that's why it's very difficult for us to compete with them. So that is the future. Everyone understands that. And it kind of flows into our next segment here.